Hi, I'm Derek, business systems coach for contractors. Today I'm going to be sharing with you the holy grail of construction, financial, and business management. We're going to be talking about job costing, time tracking for your construction projects. Okay, so job costing. It seems like something that is just out of reach for a lot of contractors, but so everybody knows they need it, right? It's like just the information that you need to know about a project of what jobs are, where your costing's at. Is it taking you more time, less time? Are you spending more or less on materials, on which projects, on which activities? So without job costing, you're pretty much blind as far as like what projects are actually costing you, and also you don't have that feedback loop of if you provided an estimate, how close to that estimate are you actually, how profitable are you actually, and where are you profitable, where have you gone over. So without job costing and job money tracking, you just can't know that. So before we get started, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. The best way to grow your business, make sure you don't miss any of these videos and content for expanding and growing your construction business. Subscribe to the channel now, get joined up. Love to see you on all my other videos. So why bother, right? Why bother with job costing, getting this set up? I'm not gonna say it's easy, but it's not as difficult as most people think about it. I went through this with my own business and I've helped many of my clients set this up in their businesses. So it can be like overwhelming at first where do you start? So I'm gonna be going through that in this video of like how you should be thinking about it. We're gonna be talking about cost codes, so how to set up your structure for your cost codes so you can do proper job costing, and then how to use it. So where to use it, how to get your team on board. We're gonna be talking about all that. Make sure you stay around to the end. First thing I'm gonna be talking about is why bother. And the reason that we want to do this is you need to know where your money is being made and where it's being lost, right? So especially losing money, if you don't know where things are out, you can't estimate properly. You don't have that feedback loop to improve your estimating and your business. And you also don't know what kind of jobs or projects are most profitable. Once you have this information, you can start to custom and tailor your business to where you're going to be profitable, or at least estimates or jobs that are going to be a challenge or not as profitable. Efficiency and consistency. So consistency without job costing, you don't know if one project is way over on this and another project is way over on that. You don't know where inconsistencies lie, and especially and inefficiencies. You could very easily fine tune maybe what's happening on site when you have this information. Budget tracking, a little bit of a no-brainer there. Without job costing, you can't really track a budget. You might know like, oh, we're about 50% done, and yeah, it seems like we invoiced for 50% of the work, so should be good. But you have no idea, right? In reality of like where and when and what's happened as far as the budget goes. And then of course like challenges, right? So this is where a lot of people get stuck is like, they want to have this set up in place. You maybe tried it before, you built out some system. I know I tried. I remember I was like, I need to get a track of like what's going on site, because like I don't know where my guys are spending so much time. All I know is I'm not as profitable as I'd like to be, and I seem to not be making as much money as I'm estimating for. So I set up the system. It was like a paper system at the time. This was 10 years ago maybe, and guys on site can then fill out the papers, and like the biggest challenge was like having the guys on site actually like understand why this is important and how to track it. Nowadays, so much easier with the right technology in place. Like you probably have project management software, at least you got accounting software where you can set up these cost codes. You can set up a system. There's even free apps and stuff like that if you don't have the other stuff set up, where your guys on site can actually clock in, or at the end of the day just fill out their hours. 2 hours framing, 3 hours site cleanup and demo. So at least which project they're on and which task they're doing. Again, it's actually not that hard to set up, but to get the system rolling and get everybody on board does cause some challenges. So does that make sense? All right, so now that you're pumped on getting these cost codes in place, as you should be, because this is going to be huge for growing and expanding and building your business. The second thing that we're going to be talking about is the actual cost code. So what cost codes do you want to get set up, and how do you want to get them set up? There's kind of two standards that are very common. One is more for commercial, larger projects. That'd be the Construction Specifications Institute, so CSI. They have a standard of cost codes. It's quite big and built out, and you can find that information online if you just search for it. I'll probably put some links in the description to reach out to me if you'd like me to help you set this up for you. That's what I do at Rapid Adults Creators, construction coaching company. We set this up for our clients and we get it humming and running for them. Or just check it online to get the cost codes from the CSI. Or the National Association of Home Builders also has their own like cost code format. It's really not that difficult. I know a lot of project management softwares, they'll have this already built into their system where you can just like import theirs. I would suggest, you want to fine tune it for yourself. Don't keep like everything, because there's probably a lot of stuff that's not relevant to you and your business, and you don't want to confuse people, because it's one thing if you know it, but when you grow and you expand, you're gonna have project managers, or you have accountants or bookkeepers or other people on your team that need to know this information and use these cost codes. And if you've got like 300 different cost codes for this, that, and everything, it's just things are going to get mixed up and it's not going to be effective. So start simple, all about starting simple. Have like, your 12 different categories, maybe a few subcategories. That's it. Start with what you actually use as a company. If you don't use something as a company, get rid of it. You don't need it as a cost code. There's no use in having it. So set it up for your company and then just use it as the standard. And once you have it set up, you can always modify and change it, but just get the basics in place. So at least like at a high level, tracking wise, where you're spending and so you can budget. So does that make sense? You still with me here? Take a little step back here and we'll move into number 3. So the third area I'm going to be talking about today is where to use them. So how do you actually set up the system, or where do you use these cost codes? Like, you've got the cost codes, that's good. We're pumped, we know why it's important. Where am I going to use this, or how do I use this? So first thing obviously is going to be budgeting. Maybe not so obviously, but most people are going to understand that like during the budgeting process, that's where the cost code kind of gets set. So let's say cost code number 1 is generally going to be pre-construction. So do you need design? Do you need planning? Do you need blueprints? Do you need permits? So, cost code 1, keep it simple, pre-construction, right? Cost code 2, well, what's the next thing that you do on a site? Generally is going to be your site setup and demo. So that's going to be cost code number 2 is setup and demo. So how much, are you going to be your budgeting items? When I say budgeting, I mean like quoting, estimating. So when you're doing an estimate, you're going to use these cost codes. And of course you can have subcategories and you can really build this whole system out like really effectively. But at the beginning, just start simple and have like maybe 14 different cost codes, and that's about all you need, or even 10 or 5, depending on if you're a trade and you only need like, labor, materials, and maybe a few other things, then that's good. That's all you need. So that's where you're going to use it on your estimating side. From there, now that you've built that estimate out, it's got cost codes attached to it. You've sold the project, you've got a new client. Now your guys are on site, right? So they're on site, they go there, they're going to set up, they throw out the RAM board and set up the garbage bin and start ripping cabinets off the walls or pulling wire out of the walls, depending what you do. And then at the end of the day, they're going to go into the app or your program or whatever you have on their phone, and they're going to choose the cost code that they just did. So their first day, it's going to be demo, cost code number 2, like we mentioned before. They're going to tag their hours, 6 hours of demo or 8 hours of demo today on XYZ Paradise Boulevard Lane project, right? So there you go. That's all you need. And now that's in your system. You've got labor tracked to your cost codes and you can budget it per project. So like I said, it can be complicated with everything like getting set up, but once it's running and humming and you've got it set up, like it's not a difficult thing, especially when your guys are on board. And getting your current guys, especially the old timers, on this is going to be the most challenging. New guys coming into your system, like new hires, it's just going to be the way that they operate inside your business, right? It's a lot easier for them because it's like, oh, they're starting a new job, this is how we do it, right? Getting some of the guys that have been doing it a different way to change, that's another story. Not so open to change always, but yeah, not going to go too far on that. All right, third spot that we're going to be looking at. So cost codes, you've got them in your estimate, you got them time tracking with your employees. Next thing is bookkeeping and expenses. So now those labor hours on site, if you're doing cost plus, that's going to carry through to the invoice, or at least when it's done, you know what you spent on it. You now invoice for the client. Okay, $5,000 for demo. Oh, look, we came in under budget. We spent $3,000 on, demo labor and maybe $500 on supplies for demo. We're doing well, right? You know this information now and you realize that, hey, my estimating works. I made money on that. Way to go, thumbs up to you. So bookkeeping and expenses, that'll carry through to that. And this is where you're gonna have to kind of like integrate and keep track of, like, if you had your project management and your budgeting software, and now you've got to bring it into your bookkeeping software. So again, a little bit of tech to set that up, but very doable, and pretty much all software nowadays either integrates or we can use a go-between if you need to. Again, if you've got questions about this, drop them in the comments and let me know. Do you use cost codes? Have you set up cost codes in your business? Yes or no? Just drop a comment now, let me know. And then the last spot that we're going to be looking at cost codes and where to use them and part of your system. You've gone through the whole production, project now. Now you get to look at the reports, right? So you get reporting, internal and client facing, depending on how you operate your business. But you can now report, okay, project's done. Look at your cost codes, look at your job costing. Where did I make money? Where did I lose money? Why, right? Like, okay, so we're over budget on framing. Well, why? Well, because we didn't expect, this or that. We had really shitty weather. There's reasons for it. Or maybe you're ahead and it's like, hey, what happened? Did I just over budget, or did we have like some awesome framer guy that was drinking Red Bulls all day and getting twice the work done that he should have been doing? Like you can figure it out, right? So, and then it improves your future estimating, improves your future business, and you can grow and scale and just continue to make money and take it easy, hopefully, because you got the system set up. So does that make sense? Check out the links in the description below. I've got a free course in there, how to build a business that works without you. Awesome course, all about how to start systematizing your business, get those benefits of more free time for yourself, easier, better running company, saving you time, saving you money, more efficiency, makes everyone's life easier. So make sure you get that for yourself. It's in the comments. Free resource for you to grow your contracting business. And then check out the other videos. You want more content, got questions about other parts of your business, how to grow them, guaranteed I've got a video on it. Check out one of those now. I'll see you later.